Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I begged. I remember you say sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead.
Welcome to Sonoma State University's Commencement Ceremony. The processional will begin in 5 minutes. Will everyone please be seated? Please take your seats as quickly as possible and clear the aisles so the processional may begin. The program will give you more detailed information about today's ceremonies. However, there are some matters for which we especially need the help and cooperation of you, our audience. First, photographs. You are welcome to take photographs from your seat. However, please be considerate of those around you, and please do not stand in the aisles or enter the area in front of the platform. We also ask, if you are planning to use a tripod, that you wait to set the tripod up until you are ready to take the picture. Tripods left up unnecessarily can be hazardous to our graduates and guests as they walk around the venue. Also remember that professional photographers will be taking 2 separate photographs, one each from different vantage points, of every graduate as diplomas are presented. Graduates will receive digital proofs via email and may purchase copies of the photographs as desired. Second, cell phones. Now is a good time to turn off all cell phones and other personal electronic devices before the ceremony begins. Third, the recessional. When the recessional begins, please remain in your seats and remain in your seats until all the graduates have left the commencement area. Your cooperation in this regard will allow the recessional to proceed smoothly and quickly. You may meet your graduates in the Central Campus Quad area or at the school receptions after the recessional. Please do not stop them along their way. Our ceremony lasts 2.5 to 3 hours. So we would like to point out the map in the commencement program you received. Locations for accessible restroom facilities, food locations, and building locations are on that map. Finally, we'd like to point out to you the location of our American Sign Language interpreters to the left of the stage. They will be here signing the entire ceremony to assist those who are hearing impaired. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sonoma State Professor Emeritus, Dr. Martha Yates, who will announce the call to procession as she plays on bagpipes a composition she wrote in honor of Sonoma State University's commencement, the Graduation Fanfare.
Good afternoon. I'm Ben Ford, Chair of the Sonoma State University faculty, and it's my distinct honor to welcome you to your 2012 Sonoma State University Commencement. Would the banner carriers please place the heraldic banners in their stands? And would everybody please take their seats? It's my pleasure today to introduce our student musician, Emily Sample, who will perform America the Beautiful. Thank you, Emily, for opening today's commencement ceremonies. It's now my pleasure to introduce the president of Sonoma State University, Dr. Ruben Armagnana.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to add my welcome to that given by Professor Ford on behalf of the faculty and staff of Sonoma State University, many of whom are present today to share in this celebration. Presidents get blamed for lots of things, including the weather. But today, I'm going to take credit for having Saint Isidore, which is the patron saint of weathermen, to have taken my collect call, because he sent a pretty good, sunny, might even be hot afternoon. And therefore, thank you, Saint Isidore, you have done well. And you know, he's also my patron saint, therefore that's why he took the collect call. Not he would have made me charge. This year's graduates number approximately 2,200. About 1,000 of you are participating in this ceremony for the School of Arts and Humanities, the School of Business and Economics, and the School of Education. A light number participated in a ceremony earlier today for the Schools of Science and Technology and the School of Social Sciences. You will be joining the more than 53,000 students who have completed a master's or bachelor's degree at Sonoma State University since our first commencement in 1962. You come from many states and many countries, which are represented by the various flags you see flying behind me, although the majority of you are from the state of California. Today you celebrate an achievement in common, the award of a master's or bachelor's degree. To all of you, the graduates of 2012, welcome to your commencement. We also want to welcome the family and friends of our graduates. You can all share in the happiness and pride of our graduates on this great occasion because each of you has played some part in their success. I would like to take a moment as we begin this commencement ceremony to invite the graduates to stand and acknowledge their parents and grandparents, children, spouses, significant others, brothers and sisters, and friends for their help and support. We are pleased to have on our platform party today several very distinguished guests. Mr. Henry Mendoza is a California State University trustee. He understands and embraces the special mission of the CSU and is committed to help ensure high-quality academic programs for our students. Past honorary degree recipient, Dr. Henry Trioni. Dr. Trioni is committed to education through his continued leadership and committed service. Past honorary recipient degree, Dr. Robert Johnson. Dr. Johnson has a long legacy with sustainability in agriculture. He continues to support future generations in researching land management. I would also like to acknowledge university officials and others in the platform party who are here today to honor our graduates. You will find their names and titles on page 22 of your commencement program. I would also like to acknowledge our distinguished faculty who are here today to participate in this very important ceremony. The names of our faculty can be found on page 50 of your program. And finally, please join me in recognizing the almost 200 members of the Sonoma State University staff whose dedication and hard work have made this ceremony possible. I would now like to invite Trustee Henry Mendoza from the California State University to greet you, our graduates.
Good afternoon. Thank you, President Armiñana. It's a great honor to share this special day with the newest graduates of Sonoma State University, families, friends of the graduates, and the faculty and staff of this excellent university. I'm delighted to bring you greetings and congratulations on behalf of Chancellor Reed, the trustees, and the California State University. Graduates, you truly represent the best hopes of the state of California. This spring, more than 90,000 new CSU graduates out of the 400,000 students system-wide will be moving on from their alma maters to enter into professional and graduate schools or directly into the workforce of this great state. The state of California is counting on your skills, your knowledge, your creativity, and the dedication that you've shown in working successfully toward the degrees that you will receive today. We know that you will not disappoint. As a citizen and member of our community, continue to support the CSU As you know, we need it now. By showing others how earning a college degree can be the most important step toward a brighter future. As a graduate of CSU, yes, I graduated from Cal State Fullerton, be an ambassador of our system. Let your friends, colleagues, and especially your legislators and community know how important the CSU has been to you and how they can join you in keeping the doors of opportunity open for others by supporting the Cal State University. As graduates of Sonoma State University, you receive not only a deep and strong education in your major fields, but an appreciation and understanding of the value of liberal arts, sciences, and that are the basis for rewarding a personal life and career. You are very fortunate to have attended such a fine institution. You have worked hard and you deserve the degrees that will be conferred upon you today. Again, on behalf of the California State University, the Chancellor, and the Board of Trustees, I congratulate you and your achievement and wish you every success as you leave this great university for your tomorrows. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mendoza. I would now like to invite the outgoing president of the Associated Students, Alex Boyer, to greet the graduates. I was lucky enough to work closely with Alex for the last 2 years, and I know he's worked tirelessly with many of you this year and addressed many issues of concern across the campus. So, Alex.
All right, I'm a little taller. All right. All right, any student here who's ever seen me give a speech, you know exactly what I'm about to do. How are you feeling today, Seawolves? Now that's the level of excitement that I'm glad to see. Well, welcome graduates, students, parents, and friends to the 2012 Sonoma State Commencement. On this beautiful day, I would like to congratulate the approximately 1,000 graduates on our final step in our Sonoma State experience. As the president of your Associated Students, it was my pleasure to represent you. We've been through a lot as a student body these past few years. We've seen our class sizes go up. We've seen our courses get cut. Vital student services have gone down, and programs stripped to the bare bone levels in some cases. And to top it all off, our tuition has more than doubled in 4 years. Yeah, I know. Don't worry, it's getting to a positive, I promise. However, despite these challenges, we stand as a testament of perseverance, and against all odds, we are here today to celebrate the culminating event of our undergraduate career. Take pride in your accomplishments and the future you have ahead. I understand how uncertain and how uncomfortable the job market is right now, and how uneasy it has been to think about our future. The best thing we can do is remain optimistic and keep searching for meaningful opportunities with the faith that it'll work out. This is the time to thank the people who helped to get you here. We thank our professors who inspired us in the classroom and aided us in their office hours. We thank our mentors who kept us grounded and on track when the stress of finals seemed like they were way too much. We thank our family members who supported us whether emotionally, financially, or mentally. And ultimately, we thank our friends who have been with us these last few years for making our college experiences unforgettable and teaching us the true meaning of being a sea wolf. Much like college, life is what you make of it. Therefore, your success is determined on your will to succeed. On behalf of the other 8,500 students here, not today, we want to wish you the best of luck, happiness in your future aspirations. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to serve you.
Thank you, Mr. Boyer. Now, in recognition of decades of commitment and contribution to higher education and the arts, today the California State University adds a now local couple to the list of recipients of honorary doctorates. I invite President Arminiana to return to the podium for the conferral of the honorary degrees.
Thank you, Dr. Ford. Trustee Mendoza, please join me. And I ask Mr. and Mrs. Weil to please join us.
Joan and Sanford Sandy Wiles' lives can be characterized by their extensive business and philanthropic work in a myriad of areas with a dedicated personal focus on education, healthcare, culture, and the arts. They strongly believe that the arts are a very important part of the growth and understanding of young people and should always be a part of the fabric of their lives. The Wiles' involvement, experience, and generous gifts have made that possible for many, and they believe it can help bridge cultural divides that exist throughout the world. In recognition of his many contributions to his communities and to his promotion of education and the arts, the Board of Trustees of the California State University and Sonoma State University are proud to confer upon Sanford Weil the Doctor of Human Letters. In recognition of her many contributions to her communities and her promotion of education and the arts, the Board of Trustees of the California State University and Sonoma State University are proud to confer upon Joan Weil the Doctor of Fine Arts. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dr. Joan and Dr. Sandy Weil. Sandy, would you like to say something?
Thank you very much. And I just want to congratulate all of you on this wonderful day. And I want you to know how privileged I feel to be part of this ceremony. So thank you. I thank your parents. And I look forward to the future, because looking at it, all of you, makes me feel that the future will be really, really much better indeed. So good luck. Feel a passion for what you do, and you can do anything you want. So thank you very, very much.
You know, I agree with my wife, but I would just like to say one thing more on this really great day for you. Being a graduate of Sonoma State University, I think, is a phenomenal thing, and it's going to only get better. And I think that Joni and I are happy to be working here at this university to create a new part of the university that will really be transformative. The Music and Arts Center, the Music and Dance Center, will bring to this campus a culture that will really enhance the student life in years to come. It will also give us an opportunity to reach out to the underserved people in these communities with programs in the summer and camps in the summer for music and for dance, and to really create an environment and a destination where people will come to this part of California and come to know Sonoma State as a place that they want to come for culture and to really want to enjoy the privileges that you all have had to enjoy in the last few years. So for those of you that are looking at this commencement, thank you very much, and God bless you. And Joni and I are committed to help make this university the best of all of them in the California state system. God bless and thank you.
Thank you, President Armagnana and Trustee Mendoza, and congratulations to the doctor as well. I would now like to introduce our student speaker, Ms. Allison Sutton. Allison graduates today with a BA in Communications. While at Sonoma State, Allison has been a freshman interest group peer mentor for the arts. She shares that being part of FIG her freshman year really shaped her into the person and leader she is today. Please join me in welcoming Allison Sutton.
Thank you, communications majors. Good afternoon, fellow graduates, faculty, staff, and family members. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful day, and a special thank you to all of those who have traveled long distances to be here. It speaks volumes to all of us graduating. When I was growing up, I really wish my family and teachers had said this to me. If you're not making mistakes, then you're not doing anything. I'm positive that a doer makes mistakes. John Wooden seemed to have it right there. But all I would hear from teachers are, I better not see any mistakes on those papers, or if there's a mistake, I will not accept your assignment. What happened to learning from your mistakes and becoming better for them? At Sonoma State, At Sonoma State, I have done what John Wooden told me to do, made mistakes, as I'm sure most of you did as well. We hung out with the wrong crowd, as many parents would put it. Most of us claimed to have been at the wrong place at the wrong time, or that's what we told our CSAs. We went out on that Thursday night when we had 8 a.m. class the next morning. Katati crawl. Some of us may have missed our registration time, but harassed teachers until they let us in. And we even made the mistake of eating select foods at the cafeteria. We have all made mistakes during our time here at Sonoma, but if we weren't making these mistakes, then we wouldn't be doing anything with our lives. We wouldn't be where we are today. Graduation. First off, congratulations, we did it. It only took years of our lives to complete, and now we have the privilege of waiting for a piece of paper in the mail to tell us that we didn't do all this work for nothing. If only it came with a job. Okay, how many of you were asked, what are your plans after graduation? But how many of you have said it right back? I cannot count the amount of times I have been asked that this past semester, or how many times I've said it right back. I wish the bookstore sold shirts that said, I have no idea what the hell I am doing after graduation, so please don't ask. But I feel like that might be a little too much. I usually respond by saying, oh, I don't know, I'll figure it out someday. Just play the I have no idea card that usually ends the conversation pretty fast. But now that we've finally reached graduation, people expect answers, especially our families. As I wrote this speech, I still had no idea what I was going to do, and maybe some of us still don't have a plan. Kind of scary, isn't it? But what we can say with confidence is that we were a sea wolf. Chances are, no one will know what that is, so you automatically have one up on them. You can also say with confidence that you've grown while you were here at Sonoma. No matter what your experience, positive or otherwise, you have gained something from it all. If not, I'm about to provide you with some last-minute insight for you to walk away with. Author Maya Angelou said something that I've always admired. She said, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Here at Sonoma State, we have a rather small community. Many of us catch wind if something big went down at the Katati Crawl, or if a teacher is retiring. And if you don't hear about it by the afternoon, you can always count on Susan Kashak to spam your email with all of the information. Or, if you're a communications major, Liz Birch. What I'm trying to say is that looking back at our time here, we have created our opinions about each person that we have met. While we may not remember everything that they have said to us or what they have done for us, we will always keep in mind the way that they have made us feel. And that is how we will always remember them. Whether that be a teacher who has inspired us more than they know, or a roommate who has opened our eyes to the acceptance of people unlike ourselves, or someone in an organization we are a part of who became our mentor. They have all shaped our college experience and the way we feel about one another. While budget cuts have continued to provide an obstacle for most students, we are truly the lucky ones. We have survived those cuts, snuck in, crashed, begged, and bribed teachers to get that final GE class that took us the last few years to get. After all of that, we are finally graduating. We are embarking on a whole new chapter of our lives that can be intimidating and unpredictable at times. But something that I hope will bring you comfort are those words of John Wooden and Maya Angelou. So this is the time to go out there and make those mistakes. You're showing others that you're doing something with your life and trying to do something with your education. While you're out there in the real world making those mistakes, be cautious of the way that you're interacting with others. No matter what you do, they will always remember how you made them feel. It is an honor to have been your commencement speaker. Thank you, Seawolves, for the timeless memories these past 4 years. Congratulations on this amazing achievement of yours. Now let's go celebrate. Kachati crawl, anyone?
Thank you, Allison, for that inspiring message, and I know all of the bars in the Kotari Crawl will send you a percentage of the revenues for the last today. We're honored to have our speaker today, award-winning writer, Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. Dr. Hill is a columnist and editor-at-large for the Philadelphia Daily News. He also provides regular commentary for CNN and MSNBC. Dr. Hill is the host of the nationally syndicated television show on TV1. In 2001, Dr. Hill started a literacy project that uses hip-hop culture to increase school engagement and reading skills among high school students. We're honored to have Dr. Hill with us and thank the associated students for their efforts in bringing him here today. He was earlier on in the semester, Dr. Hill was here, and he impressed the students so much that they say, that's the guy we want to have our commencement, and I think you're in for a treat. Dr. Hill.
Good afternoon, everybody. This crowd has a lot more energy than this morning. Right. The bar's opened at 6, right? Yeah. It is truly an honor to be here with you all today, to spend some time on your campus, and most importantly, to spend some time here with you all on what undoubtedly is one of the most important days of your life. You are now, in just a few minutes, and I'm gonna make it a few minutes, I promise. Hey, you don't have to agree that fast. You are going to be the class of 2012. The class of 2012. That is such a beautiful thing. I want to thank the university. I want to thank the president. And I also want to give a shout out to Ashley Yarbrough for making this happen. I'm true. Ooh, when we got Noops out there, shout out to the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. They're like, he ain't going nowhere. But seriously though, this is an important day, and we already gave some acknowledgement to your parents, but I'd like all of you graduates one more time to stand up, no graduates, stand up and face your parents and give them a round of applause for everything that they did. All right, sit down. It's hot. I think that perhaps the greatest myth in American history, thank you, perhaps the greatest myth in American history is the myth of the self-made person. Every single one of us who is here because we stood on someone's shoulders. Everyone who is here because someone sacrificed for us. Someone worked a second job for us to pay tuition. Some of us spent an extra night at work trying to get enough money for us to get books. Somebody prayed for us. Somebody struggled for us. Somebody loved us enough to sacrifice themselves to produce something for us that they couldn't even get for themselves. And so that's why it's so important for us to give gratitude to our families, but also to each other as a community. And the reason why I'm so emphatic about telling you all to give thanks and why I'm so emphatic about congratulating you all for this moment is because class of 2012, you all are a special class. Now, every graduation is somebody that tells the class that they're a special class, and it's usually not true. I probably said it about class of 2011, but I wasn't being honest. Class of 2012, you all are a special class because you all are born into a special moment. You all are going out into the world at a special time, a time where the world needs you desperately. There's talk about joblessness. There's talk that some of you will go out into the world and not know exactly what you want to do, and that might be true. And yes, the hour can be dark in a certain kind of way, but at the very same time, you all are perfectly positioned, perfectly poised to make an intervention into this world that no generation in American history has ever made. And what better time to do it? You all are going out into the world at a moment where America is at one of the most fascinating and exciting and yet peculiar moments. On the one hand, just 4 years ago, America made history in a presidential election. I don't know if y'all heard about that. Sonoma's kind of far. I don't know if y'all got cable. Four years ago, we witnessed a nation move into a different space, just a few hundred years beyond slavery, just a few decades beyond emancipation proclamations, just a few decades beyond barking dogs and water hoses and segregated lunch counters. A nation of people came together to make a different decision. A nation came together to prove that it doesn't just grow old, but it also grows up. Just last week, just this past week, our nation has taken another step forward, showing how mature it can be as it can imagine and reimagine the possibilities of respecting everybody's right to love one another, to be together. Oh, we growing, y'all, we growing. But I didn't come here merely to celebrate your growth. I also came here in a Socratic type intervention. I want to unsettle you a little bit. I want to leave you destabilized a little bit. I want you to leave here not just celebrating what we've done, not just standing by admiring the American democratic experiment that we've constructed, not just remarking upon the maturation of this thing we built, but I also want us to know, I also need you to know that you still have work to do. Because class of 2012, as great as this world is, as much as we've matured, we still have a considerable struggle in front of us. At the same time that we make profound steps forward towards equality, we also still have a nation of people who are still committed to promoting forms of unequalness. At the same time that we grow a middle class, we expand a working class and a working poor, people who work every single day and the month lasts longer than their money. At the very same time that we're injecting billions into the prison economy, we are breaking down higher education brick by brick. At the very same time that the public good is being dismantled, corporate greed continues to dominate. This is the world that you all are born into. And I know it might seem hard, but family, you all are the ones built for this. When Dr. King gave his mountaintop speech, he said, if I could be in any moment in human history, it would be this one. You all are now charged to do the exact same thing, to be born into a moment where the world is bad, but where you all are perfectly equipped to fix it. Now the question becomes, how do you fix it? As a TV pundit, I got all kinds of answers, you know? They pay me to give answers. As a college professor, I'm also a professor at Columbia University. That's right, y'all wearing Columbia blue, just so y'all know. That's what they call it, right? That's what it said. Navy blue, Columbia blue, just letting you know. As a professor, though, my job is not so much to give you the answer, but to create a set of principles and skills upon which you can rest and do your own work. In other words, I don't have an answer. But what I can do is give you a set of principles that might be useful as you imagine and reimagine the world and as you navigate the world when you walk off this stage and go out into the real world. The first thing you must do is listen carefully. You must listen carefully. Not just to me. You ain't got much choice at the moment. But you must listen to the voices of everyone. I often lean on the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. because he's such a phenomenal figure. And when Martin Luther King Jr. spent his last day on the planet, he came downstairs. He had a small breakfast with his family on his last birthday. He went to the church. They had a cake for him. He'd been met with striking sanitation workers. Someone had been mauled. They needed a living wage, and he listened to them. He then met with Chicano activists trying to figure out how they could expand the freedom struggle. He listened to them. He met with civil rights leaders trying to figure out how they could build on civil rights and public accommodations and voting rights. He listened to them. He met with anti-war activists trying to figure out how they could stop that war in Vietnam. He listened to them. Our world is better. Our nation is better. Your generation will be better when we're not merely locked at the arms, but also locked at the circumstance, listening to one another. That becomes your challenge. It's an ethical challenge. It's a moral challenge. It's a political challenge. To listen to each other. To listen to people who look like you, but most importantly, to listen to people who don't look like you, who come from different traditions, who sit on the opposite side of the political aisle, who don't have the same wealth and economic privilege as you, who don't have the same pedigree as you, people who aren't lucky enough to go to Sonoma State. It might come from somebody who's a mother of 3 who's been unmarried. It might come from someone who lives on the street. The idea of listening is not that we just listen to people who we think are special, but we find magnificence in the quotidian, as Emerson says. We find genius in the ordinary. That becomes the struggle. But listening also means that as a generation, you all have to create a new America. You have to create an America that listens to itself. Because if we have a nation that listens to itself, we won't have free speech and problems if we listen to the First Amendment. We won't have political prisoners if we listen to the First Amendment. We won't be dealing with mass incarceration and illegal detainment if we listen to the Sixth and Eighth Amendments. We won't have these awful xenophobic attacks against Mexican brothers and sisters if we listen to the 14th Amendment. If we listen to America, if we can create a nation that is as good as its promise. That's our challenge. But we must also listen to young people. As a college professor, yeah, y'all yelling now because y'all still young. One of the cruel jokes God plays on me as a college professor is that every year I get older and my students stay 18. There was a time when I was the cool professor. I was the hip professor. I knew all the music, I knew all the jokes, I knew the fashion. Then like time just swept away from me. That's going to happen to you too. And when it does, you must still be committed to listening to young people, because every generation, a generation of old people, says that this generation of young people doesn't have it. That's the 1980s. People said, oh, these kids don't have it. Some of you are of the civil rights generation, born between 1980 in the 1960s and 70s, and they said your generation was wild, your generation were hippies, your generation, your hair was too long, you were smoking too much stuff. You weren't focused. The same claim was made about baby boomers, that the baby boomers were lazy. In 1910, W.E.B. Du Bois wrote a book about the civil rights generation, said that they were lazy, that they were uninspired, that they were apolitical, that they were going to jazz and juke joints too much. They were saying Martin Luther King and them were lazy, that Rosa Parks and them weren't committed to struggle, that Malcolm X and them didn't have leadership. Every generation is accused of not being able to carry the water, and every generation does. Don't make the same mistakes that we made. Believe in yourselves, but as you get older, be committed to believing in the next generation of young people. And it's hard, because y'all are crazy. The older I get, I don't understand your music, I don't get it. I don't understand your fashion, some of your choices. You spend your time on Facebook poking each other. I don't even know what that means. Twitter's for old people, Facebook's for young people. I don't get it. But you have to be committed to listening to young people, because there has never been a social upheaval. There's never been a revolution. There's never been a meaningful shift in the way the world functions that hasn't been led by young people. Ain't no old people revolutions, y'all. It's always young people. But that means, family, that you have to not just listen carefully, but you must also have a sense of history. You must remember truthfully. You must be willing to remember the past in realistic ways. You must be willing to come to terms with the past. We live in a nation that likes to forget stuff, at the same time that we live in a nation that is obsessed with remembering. We love to make McDonald's and Burger King placemats. We love to build museums and mausoleums. We've built more in the last 30 years than at any moment in human history. We love to construct memories that make us feel good. We have TV shows like Best Week Ever. We get like an instant nostalgia. You have TV shows like Atlanta Housewives, or Real Housewives of Atlanta, or Jersey Shore, and they'll have a reunion episode the week after the show goes off. Is that for Snooki? We love to remember, but America also loves to forget. You must be the generation that is committed to rummaging through history and never allowing us to forget the pain, never allowing us to forget the trauma. We never want to be prisoner to our past, but we can never forget the past, because if we forget the past, we can't appreciate the present, and we can never imagine a brighter future, family. You can only appreciate what it means to be the class of 2012 if you understand what it meant to be the class of 1962. In the class of 1962, this room wasn't diverse. In fact, this was probably the whole campus. And it wasn't diverse. In 1962, I couldn't be your commencement speaker. In 1962, there wouldn't be a wall of female faculty. In 1962, we couldn't even all go down to the town bar and have a drink together. You can appreciate the journey of today by witnessing what has happened in the past. Have a sense of history. But as you rummage through history and as you begin to listen carefully to one another, I also need you all to also do something else. I need you to ask different questions. That means you must discern wisely. You see, you all are graduating from Sonoma. You all are perfectly equipped to ask tough questions, to ask dangerous and counterintuitive questions. If you all are going to go out into the world, you cannot simply answer the question. You must also question the answer. If you wanted to have simple answers, you'd have went to Stanford or San Francisco State. But no, y'all wanted the tough route. Y'all wanted to go the brilliant route, so y'all came to Sonoma State. So when y'all graduate from Sonoma State, be committed to answering tough questions and placing those questions on the laps of people with power. You all in the College of Education, when you go into a school in Oakland, Don't let them tell you that those kids don't want to learn. Don't let them tell you that there's an achievement gap. No, there's a funding gap. There's a support gap. There's an investment gap. There's a mentoring gap. There's a love gap. There's a care gap. That's where the gap is. You turn that simple answer into a complex question. Family, y'all graduating from business school. Y'all getting business degrees. Yeah, you can bounce, but after you get that business degree, don't get amnesia. That's the other part of this. Remembering truthfully ain't just remembering the past, it's remembering your past. Oftentimes the difference between you and the person who didn't make it is not just hard work, it's also a little bit of luck. It's also a little bit of support. It's also a second chance. So don't get forgetful when we start talking about the poor. Be committed to remembering that truthfully, but turn the simple answer into a complex question. Don't let them tell you that people lost their houses just because they wanted more house than they could afford, just because they're irresponsible, that poor people are just lazy. Now, don't get me wrong, we all know some lazy folk. We all know that person that got $20,000 rims, don't even got a car. Responsibility is important, but never let that simple answer become the dominant logic of the day. Don't just talk about poor people, also talk about corporate greed, also talk about predatory lending. Also talk about a nation that's obsessed with deregulation. Also talk about a nation that's obsessed with taking the public good and placing it in private hands. That's the question y'all gotta ask. That's what it means to discern wisely, to ask different questions. But it's not just enough to ask questions, because you all can't just get degrees. You got to mobilize those degrees. You can't be a PhD, you got to be a PhD. That means that when you leave this school, you got to ask tough questions, but then you got to act bravely. Otherwise, you just analyze this stuff. Dr. King said, we can do analysis, but we cannot get caught up in the paralysis of analysis. That means that we can't just ask questions. We have to do something. We have to organize. We have to mobilize. We have to galvanize. I'm getting like Jesse Jackson, right? I believe that we must. That means that when we leave here, seriously, family, when you leave here, when you graduate, you must have a commitment to working on behalf of people who weren't as fortunate as you. Some of you are going to be in corporate boardrooms. Some of you are going to be in courtrooms. Some of you are going to be in hospitals. Some of you are going to be in classrooms. Some of you are going to be artists. Whatever you're going to do, you must be committed to acting bravely, to telling the truth even when it makes you unpopular, to taking a tough position even when it makes you marginal, to stand up and say that this is wrong, no matter who does it, whether they're Democrat or Republican, black or white, Protestant, I don't care who they are. You need to have a promiscuous sense of outrage. To act bravely is to never let anybody tell you that you're not responsible for your own surroundings. I'm a progressive, I'm an activist, I always talk about changing the world. But that doesn't mean that we can't take responsibility for our own campus, for our own community, for our own country, for our own families. Never let anybody tell you that it's not your responsibility to be responsible. I walked into Cook County Jail about 2 years ago visiting, and I said, how many of y'all want to shut this prison down right now? They said, yeah, we want to shut the prison down. I said, how many of y'all are under 21? They all raised their hand. How many of you are here for a nonviolent drug offense? Hands go up. We know there's a war on drugs that doesn't work. We said, how many of you finished high school? No, hands go up. How many of you have children? Hands go up. 2 kids, hands go up. How many of you have 3 kids? Hands go up. I stopped asking. I said, how many of you want to shut this prison down? They said, yeah, what do we do? I said, don't come back no more. Yes, the world is bad. Yes, the world is unfair. Yes, the world is unjust. Yes, the world privileges power. Yes, the world is dangerous, but that doesn't mean that we have to buy into it. If they put drugs in our community, we don't have to sell them. We don't have to smoke them. If we get bad books, we can still read them. If we have bad circumstances, we can still overcome them. No matter what is given us as a hand, we can change our fate by working, by struggling, by believing, and by acting bravely. But acting bravely requires something that this generation oftentimes struggles with, and that's something called patience. And I understand why. You all have everything happening so quickly. I'll get an email from a student at 5 a.m. Professor Hill, I need to talk to you. I get another one at 8 a.m. Professor Hill, why are you ignoring me? Time and space moves differently for y'all. Y'all got text messaging, YouTube, Facebook, even MySpace before it died. Y'all got all of this stuff, and as a result, everything is moving so quickly for you that you have a revolutionary spirit and you have revolutionary resources, but the thing that you need sometimes is revolutionary patience. Revolutionary patience. As you leave this school, don't allow time to be the reason that you don't struggle. Some of you want master's degrees. Some of you want PhDs. Some of you want MBAs. Some of you want MDs and VMDs and JDs and ABCDEFGs. Don't let time be the reason you don't do it. When I dropped out of college in my freshman year, I talked to a homeless man one day, and he said, "Why'd you drop out of school?" I said, "Because it's hard." He said, "Well, life is hard." I said, well, he said, "Why don't you go back to school?" I said, "Because people are going to make fun of me." He said, "They're going to make fun of you anyway." He said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to get a PhD." He said, "Well, get a PhD." I said, "Well, it takes too long." He said, "How long does it take to get a PhD?" I said, "After I finish undergrad and grad school and write my dissertation, it's going to take me 10 years to get a PhD." He said, "Dummy, 10 years going to go by anyway. You just ain't going to have a PhD." Let that be your vision, whatever your dreams are. Don't be scared to struggle. Don't be scared to sacrifice. Don't be scared to take a risk. As you said, don't be afraid to fail. The only people with clean uniforms are the ones that don't get into the game. If you get into this game, you're going to take a hit. You're going to get grass and blood on you. You're going to fall, but you continue to fight. You continue to struggle because the victory rests in that struggle. That's what it means to act bravely. And family, after that, and then I'm going to leave y'all alone, you have to hope relentlessly. You must hope relentlessly. What does it mean to hope relentlessly? Hope is not the thing that you see on campaign slogans. Hope is not the thing you see plastered on corporate-sponsored commercials. Hope is not the belief that everything's just going to be all right. Everything's not going to be all right. We have real wars. We have a nation that has real enemies. We have real issues of homophobia, patriarchy, sexism, class warfare. We have real issues, and they're not just going to magically go away by waving a wand. That would be optimism. No, I'm talking about hope. There's a difference between hope and optimism. Optimism is what y'all had when y'all took that test y'all didn't study for. Where you sit at the desk, first you figure out what class you're in. Some of you at that moment get religious, deeply religious. Dear God, please just give me a C. Just give me a C, God. Give me a C. God, if you give me a C minus, I promise I won't party for like 3 days. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something deeper, something more profound. I'm talking about something that will move you to the next phase of your life and that will move our nation to the next phase of its existence. I'm talking about the belief that everything isn't good, but that our struggle and that our faith and that our commitment to making the world better will make it better, or at the very least will stop it from being worse. When I talk about hope, I'm talking about what the great Howard Thurman was talking about when he said, never scale down your dreams to the level of that which is your immediate experience. What you talking about, Dr. Hill? It means you don't have to be prisoner to an event. You don't have to be prisoner to a moment. You don't have to be prisoner to a circumstance. You don't even have to be prisoner to your GPA right now. Yes, some of you graduated magna cum laude. Some of you graduated summa cum laude. Some of y'all just graduated thank you laude. But whatever you graduated, But whatever you graduated, you don't have to be prisoner to that. You don't have to be prisoner to your GPA. You can still get that PhD. You can still lead the world. You can still change the world. Hope says that you can fight this world. You can fight our enemies, that you can reimagine a world in ways that heal us. Hope says 10 words. If you don't remember anything else I tell you, remember these 10 words. I do not have to be what I once was. I do not have to be what I once was. We do not have to be what we are now, family. The world is radically different, and the world is radically different not because of the odds, but in spite of them. There was no evidence that Sonoma State would last 50 years and be this diverse. There was no evidence last week that we would be able to make a serious fight for marriage equality. There was no evidence of that. There was no evidence that we would end slavery. The odds were on the side of slavery. There was no evidence that women would get the right to vote or that women would be able to lead multinational corporations. There was no evidence that the environment would finally start to get the type of protections that it needs. There's never been any evidence of our progress or our success, and yet we as a nation have always struggled. We've always strived. We've always believed, and because of that, we've always been able to produce a future that we otherwise could not have imagined. Your job, class of 2012, is to keep dreaming. Your job is to keep hoping. Your job is to keep loving, so that when those odds come and they lay the odds in front of you and tell you that this next generation is destined to die, that this next generation is destined to be a nation of lazy immigrants, and that this nation is destined to be a nation of convicts headed for the state pen, when they tell you that this nation is destined to be a generation of teen mothers, and that this nation is destined to fail, you can look back at them. You can draw on your history. You can draw on the education that you got right here at Sonoma. You can draw on your collective generational strength, and you can speak back to them and say, no, we're going to win. The class of 2012 is going to win. The class of 2012 is going to listen carefully and remember truthfully and discern wisely and act bravely and even love wastefully. And when we do all of that, when they say it can't happen, you say it will happen. When they say it won't happen, you say it must happen. When they see kids coming from immigrant ships, you'll see them producing scholarships. When you see teen mothers, you'll see them not making babies, but you'll see them making change. When you see people who are destined for the state pen, you'll convert them and educate them and see them destined for Penn State. When you do the work that you're supposed to do as the class of 2012, you will make the world bigger and brighter and bolder and better. You know why? Because y'all ain't got no choice. God bless you. I love you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Hill, for those wonderfully inspirational words. Academic life has offered you the opportunity to study and to learn, to reflect, analyze, and synthesize, to formulate and test hypotheses. As you leave the world of the university and enter upon the course of your career, you surely will put your theories to the test. Your new world will likely be more demanding and less forgiving. You will be faced with greater challenges and with more questions than solutions. In the real world, we all learn that our decisions and actions have very real consequences, both practical and moral, for ourselves and others. What is certain in this very dynamic world is that there is no shortage of important work for the graduates of 2012. What advice can I offer you to guide you on your way? I charge you to live a life of learning. Knowledge is a tool for bettering this world. You have developed skills of acquiring knowledge and critical thinking. Continue to hone your skills, to ask questions and pursue sound answers, and to exercise discipline in your work. I charge you to cultivate compassion for others. From compassion comes understanding of our differences and appreciation of our commonalities. Compassion engenders kindness and caring and generosity. the virtues that are the essence of our humanity and the ingredients we need to achieve truly peaceful, collaborative coexistence. I charge you to become involved in community life. To paraphrase Pericles' statement in the Golden Age of Athens, we do not say of people who do not participate in public affairs that they mind their own business. We say they have no business here at all. We do not achieve alone. We always achieve with others. As citizens, we're obliged to understand the assumptions, ideals, and aspirations of our communities and to develop the desire and the will to participate in the institutions for the common good. I charge you to actively seek and create and teach a life of hope. We must believe that what we think and say and do can make a difference. We're living in a period of turbulence in our economic systems, our political institutions, our social values, and throughout the world. In such time, we can easily become dispirited and discouraged. Our greatest challenge is to keep alive the belief that a better, more enlightened, more humane world is truly possible. And I charge you to do all of these with a sense of adventure and fun. The faculty of this university has determined that you, the graduates of 2012, are ready to meet your responsibilities. I join them, along with the university administration and staff, your family and friends, and our distinguished guests here today in wishing you a rewarding future. Graduates who are preparing for careers in education will now be acknowledged. I recognize the interim dean of the School of Education, Dr. Carlos Ayala.
Thank you, Dr. Armañana. Today is a very special day. Many of you out there have already taken a very brave step and have committed to a career in education. Some of you are receiving master's degrees. Some have completed bachelor's work in other major fields and soon will be leading towards a teaching credential. We are very proud of the contributions you will make to the field of education. Will all the master's and bachelor's degree candidates in any field who are preparing for careers in education please stand? Please join me in wishing these graduates every success in their calling. Please be seated.
The graduates will now be presented and the degrees conferred. I recognize Dr. Ben Ford, Chair of the Faculty.
President Armañana, it is my privilege to recommend these students who are assembled before you as candidates for degrees under requirements prescribed by the trustees of the California State University and by the faculty of Sonoma State University. Candidates for the master's degrees and bachelor's degrees will be presented to you by the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Andrew Rogerson.
President Armañana, I am pleased to certify that the master's degree candidates here today have completed all the requirements established by the trustees of the California State University and the faculty of Sonoma State University for the degree of Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in English, Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Action for a Viable Future, Master of Arts in Spanish. Will master's degree candidates please rise and remain standing?
Candidates for the master's degree, you have heard the recommendation of the faculty of Sonoma State University. By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the California State University, I do here confer upon each of you who has satisfied the requirements for the appropriate degree of Masters of Business Administration, Masters of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in English, Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Action for a Viable Future, and Masters of Arts in Spanish, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereupon pertaining. Congratulations to every one of you, and please be seated.
President Armaniana, the deans of the academic schools will now present the candidates for the bachelor's degree. I recognize Dr. Thane Stearns, Interim Dean of the School of Arts and Humanities.
Will all candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Arts and Humanities please rise? President Armaniana, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Arts and Humanities, I have the honor to recommend the candidates for bachelor's degrees with majors in American Multicultural Studies, art history, Chicano and Latino studies, communication studies, English, fine arts, French, liberal studies from the Hutchins School, nice, music, philosophy, Spanish, and theater arts.
Thank you, Dean Stearns. Candidates from the School of Arts and Humanities, you may now be seated. I recognize Dr. William Silver, Dean of the School of Business and Economics.
Will all the candidates for a bachelor's degree in the School of Business and Economics please rise? President Armaniana, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Business and Economics, I have the honor to present the candidates for bachelor's degrees with majors in economics and business administration with concentrations in accounting, finance, financial management, marketing, and wine business strategies.
Thank you, Dean Silver. Candidates from the School of Business and Economics, you may now be seated.
Will all of the candidates for the bachelor's degree please rise? Candidates for the bachelor's degree, you have heard the recommendation of the faculty of Sonoma State University. By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the California State University, I do hereby confer upon each of you who has satisfied the requirements the Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science with all honors, privilege, and responsibilities thereupon pertaining. Congratulations. Now, to signify that the bachelor's degree has been earned, you may move the tassel of your cap to the left side. Well done. Congratulations. Would all of the graduates please join me in expressing our appreciation to the faculty and staff of Sonoma State University, whose hard work and dedication have helped you achieve this goal. And please be seated. I would now like to take a moment to recognize our recipients of the Staff Excellence Award. These awards are presented to select members of the Sonoma State University staff in recognition of their outstanding service to the university and its students and faculty. Today, recipients are Ms. Sue Bennett from the Administration Information Systems Division of Information Technology, and Mr. Ed Liddell from the University Operations and Engineering in Facilities Management. Their biographies are on page 15 of your program. Congratulations to both of them.
Our candidates have devoted great time, energy, and sacrifice in order to earn their degrees. So that each of them may be accorded personal recognition, their names will be read as they approach the platform to receive their diplomas. We request that the audience remain seated during this special moment for our graduates and their families and friends. We also ask that you hold your applause until the end of the presentation so that everyone's name can be heard. On behalf of the faculty and the graduates, I would like to thank Professors Marco Calavita and Armand Galinsky for reading the names. We will now present the diplomas. I recognize Dr. Melinda Barnard, Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, who will introduce the candidates.
Welcome. Will those receiving the master's degree from the School of Education please rise? Master degree candidates, please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Lauren Parnes.
Ryan J. Hicks. Paula Heichel.
Aaron Melissa Fightmaster.
Sherry Canepa.
Sylvia Herrera.
Cynthia Chong.
Lauren Elizabeth Arcuri.
Mary Norton Lawson.
Amber Veral.
Laura Maslin Bradley.
Shannon Hattiar.
Teresa House.
Christine Duran.
Dana Milani.
Jessica Moreno.
Jonathan Wright.
Juwon Kim. Dong Suk Choi.
Congratulations to the recipients of the master's degree from the School of Education. Please be seated. Now, will those receiving master's degrees from the School of Arts and Humanities, including the Masters of Arts in Organizational Development, please rise. Master's degree candidates, please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Molly Mandy.
Veronica Hernandez Ramirez.
Emily Hostutler.
Joel Zarate.
Christy Davids.
Bria Gear.
Erica Tom.
Jesse Hansen. Gail Papworth. Serena Lino. Derek Gage. Rhonda McKinnon. Ivan Mejia Berzunza. Monica Marlowe. Jessica Berkeley. Michelle Griffin. Samane Mozami. Lorelux Tuttle. Joseph Sandoval.
Congratulations to the recipients of the master's degrees from the School of Arts and Humanities. Please be seated. All right, all you young humanitarians, now it's your turn. Bachelor degree recipients from the School of Arts and Humanities will now receive their diplomas. Will the school marshals please direct your graduates to come forward and receive their diplomas?
Olivia Snyder. Chelsea Marie Demore Sheeler.
Amanda Burke.
Castania Corpus.
Travis Saraco.
Rachel Baker.
Matthew Williamson.
Sable Shepman.
Ronald Gerdes Pierce.
Megan Christine Cunningham.
Adam Browdy.
Taylor Colosione.
Brandon Christopher Cook.
Caitlin Peruka.
Alexandra Grace Schwartz.
Libby Moyer.
Laura Finmond.
Kylie Brown.
Rebecca Pilkington.
Lisette Mendoza.
Emily Askew.
Joseph Spraga.
Kendall Fedor.
Sean Skinner.
Lacey Ray Schwartz.
Charles Kent Partridge Jr.
Kevin Driver.
Tanya Cosenza.
Matt Hardiman.
Kenneth Adam Seamers.
Maya Maria Placido.
Alexandra Blue Rowe.
Ashley Rodriguez.
Brandon Ray Bukester.
Gabrielle Jensen.
Amanda Sharp.
Chris Remy.
Neil Rogers.
Adam Lindquist.
Marie Zorn.
Taylor Minnick.
Gabriella Leeser.
Catherine Levy.
Alexa Ray Daines.
Lexi Danielle Hughes.
Nicole Marie Codoni.
Jane Eileen Savage.
Madison Steinberg.
Kelsey Carl.
Kevin Matashed.
Brooke Schulte.
Christopher Freitas.
Ashley Jarrett.
Kimberly Albayet.
Claire McCaffrey.
Eric Nordstrand.
Rachel Claire Custer.
Dane Greco.
Michael Charles Hunter.
Douglas Catanzarite.
David John O'Connell.
Josh White.
Kimberly Hoffman.
Adam Jones.
Tina Persky.
Molly Tyler.
Kyle Harris.
Long Tran.
Elise Catherine Shakti Siegel.
Kathleen Danielle Grenham.
Charmaine Wilson.
Anna Som.
Angela Lindberg.
Rosa Eliana Felix.
Paul Stacy.
Jessica Eve Byerly.
Donovan Pricer Ryan.
Donna Demi Perez.
Gordon Reed Moran.
Chelsea Oseto.
Sarah Zavatsky.
Brianna Hall.
Araceli Garcia Hernandez.
Corin Tom.
Laura Alejandro Briano Celestino.
Courtney Morgan Bono.
Wesley Broussard.
Kelsey Taylor Diamond.
Ramo Potangan.
Shannon Ankerly.
Rosalie Gundel.
Sergio Garcia Romero.
Laura Ferret. Jacob Reynolds.
Ana Gallegos.
Courtney Sunshine Caford.
Fabiola Farias Sanchez.
Carolyn A. Sebisma.
Janet Barron.
Summer Ariel Bocaccioni.
Carmen Payan.
Jenny Braun.
Maria Stevens.
Nash Bellows.
Melanie Sanders.
Kareem Marie Payne.
Beverly Holiday.
Michaela Begley.
Pearl Kemp.
Laura Kathleen Nunez.
Amanda Smithson.
Lindsay Marie Stevenson.
Chelsea Newton.
Christine C. Dunn.
Lisa Pokop.
Gomara Pena.
Christine Hunter.
Tyler Bussey.
Megan Ramos.
Wyatt Amon.
Megan Waterman.
Christopher Collette.
Sophie Eileen Redding.
Matthew Barnes.
Devin Woodruff.
Ted Farber.
Amy Aviles.
Eric Herbert.
Rebecca Boscovich.
Raquel Huffaker.
Rachel Boscovich.
Chelsea Hill.
Alicia Frumenti.
Cara Burns.
Caitlin Wisenhunt.
Courtney Marie Peterson.
Teal Nicole Bottini.
Paige Elise Abrams.
Elise Gerbina.
Brianna Santo.
Holly Crimmins.
Jessica Pahon Lomeli.
Ashley Nelson.
Catherine Ellis.
Justine Darmanian.
Alicia Incho Ogie.
Corinne Solly.
Anjali Sacco.
Noelle Carter.
Ashley Lynn Stewart.
Caitlin Haley.
Jennifer Michelle Perry.
Teresa Drehopel.
Araceli Sandoval Ruvalcaba.
Brooke Joelle Mossman.
Perla Soto.
Kelly Elizabeth Cummings.
Lauren Allison.
Jessica Marie Cruz.
Lauren Dvorak.
Lindsay Pengoli.
Stephanie Field.
Carmen Molina.
Shariah Harmon.
Anya Peterson.
Sarah Hewlett.
Allison Joy Frisch.
Kelsey Brianna Larson.
Sarah Arsenault.
Stephen A. Cornett.
Maria Trickle.
Jennifer Scott.
Sarah Koch.
Katie Lynn LaFleur.
Lindsay Serrell.
Aaron Callahan.
Melissa Noel Haviland.
Jennifer Cuddy.
Nicole Redberg.
Sarah Knotts.
Kate Elizabeth Kenny.
Devlin Donahue.
Hannah Hayden.
Emily Marie Phillips.
Julia Arno.
Alex Cheyenne Bell.
Juan Reyes.
Jennifer Worth.
Brian Evans.
Ann Andrew Sorrow.
Anayeli Cruz.
Caitlin Park.
Misty Gomez.
Robert Porter.
Shawnee Langford.
Elizabeth Bramwell.
Ryan Brown.
Helena Mary Norton.
Charles Sims.
Melissa Wright.
Margaret Mullane.
Samantha Cole.
Michael Clothier.
Liliette Tafoya.
Julian Holmes Wilson.
Kristen Bachman.
Hillary Plank.
Sarah Dalimonte.
Anna Sundberg.
Molly Ryan.
Danae Granger.
Heather Nicole Riley.
Amanda Null.
Amy Catherine Huddleston.
Jack Lago Marcino.
Nina Moreno.
Daniel Trucios.
Ruby Tuttle.
Monica Mosley.
Kathy Corbin.
Mimi Marie Kathleen Rodriguez.
Catherine Cecil Hunter.
Sarah Marie Pretty.
Margaret Trujillo.
Samantha Diane George.
Heather Nicole Tadlock.
James Mitkin.
Emily Kinsella.
Cesar Maldonado.
Sean L. Wall.
Tyler Shafsky.
Dale Christopher Drost.
Pamela Santagada.
Karen Glover.
Wyvon Mitchell Colombo.
Buzz Green.
Cynthia Calhoun Ullery.
Pamela Jackson.
Catherine Amelia Hill.
Ronald Carl Willits.
Anna Marie Matthias Jennings.
Jody Greer.
Jenna Wallace.
Michael Walton.
Noel Ho.
James Dwight Henley.
Amber Nelson.
Karina Leon.
Michelle Marie Naknini.
Donna Gibson.
Elizabeth Escalante.
Sarah Allison Minette.
Matthew Bringadal.
Madeline Steele.
Alexander Casey Jones.
Catherine Rainey.
Mateo Dillaway.
Brandy Robinson.
Devin Thompson.
Jeffrey Hollis.
Esther Renee Rayo.
Nicole Hamu.
Emily Kate Sample.
Dana Moore.
Daniel Kendrick.
Megan Sanders.
Evan Cattle.
Teresa Caprara.
Scott Decker.
Stephen Winston.
Rachel Deathrange.
Eric Kirkul.
Rosa Guilfoyle.
Christy Checketts Finnegan.
Benjamin William DeShazo Cusho.
Stacy Pelton.
Patrick O'Melveny.
Marcella Christine Schwab.
Barbara Lorraine Hardin.
Daniela DeLuca.
Anya Rose Ramo.
Lisa Tolley.
Angelica Starr Wilson.
Jordan O'Halloran.
Allison Sutton.
Nicole Marie Hebert.
Olivia Dawn Garrett.
Jessica Anna Hearing.
Ashley Leanne Davis.
Janelle Smith.
Rachel Ellen Shepard.
Kelly Christina Holthouse.
Caitlin Maureen Connolly.
Taylor Terhune.
Sarah Elizabeth Wilkerson.
Trisha Neal.
Rachel Allison Feller,
Amy Otterson,
Jared Candelaria,
Nolan Walker,
Sarah Broad,
Naoki Sugimura,
Erica Danielle Adams,
Chris Idem,
Alexis Stephanie Booth,
Rachel Barrelson,
Michelle Lauren Dobas Bubno,
Katrina Muzu,
Aaron K. Fox,
Savannah Marie Cabrera,
Cammie Briggs,
Miranda Elise Capon,
Kate Myers,
Ashley Lung,
Amy Dollar,
Mallory Ettram,
Gina Stornetta,
Brian Schmidt,
Tatiana Martinez,
Nicole Yule,
Vanessa Villafuerte,
Madeline Vining Doyle,
Patrick R. O'Neill,
Alicia Rollins,
Renee Uri,
Rebecca O'Leary,
Navid Aflatuni,
Veronica Garay,
Avery Archie,
Amy Higa,
John Ashley,
Aaron Killian,
Nicholas Elner,
Caitlin Renteria,
Nick Botello, Tommy Franich, Jonathan Myram, Jonathan Vensis, Alex Miller, Simone Yingst, Whitney Elizabeth McFadden, Michael Wagner, Ashley Yarbrough, Ruby Ponce,
Congratulations to the recipients of the bachelor degrees from the School of Arts and Humanities. Now, will those receiving master's degrees from the School of Business and Economics please rise? Master's degree recipients, please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Megan Burling,
Brian Wing,
Marcia Minton,
Megan Anderson,
Eric Kuntz,
Julia Marie Gorton,
Matthew Moffett,
Catherine Michelle Murray,
Anil Yogi Kanhangad Madatil,
Ciara Joy Birch,
Nahid Ali,
Jacob Avery,
Paul Wood,
Nicholas Rude,
Sanjay Dalil Payal,
Sean Hedden,
Chandra Rosabule Johnson Holt,
Yelena Crumley,
Victoria Rendon,
Andrew Pimentel,
Lisa Hulett,
Angela White,
Brandon Carnero,
Kimberly Hammer,
Noah Stephen Hill,
Casey Diaz,
Lucy Tan,
Todd Moore,
Mike Schwartz,
John Sullivan,
Mark Cuneo. Richard Rutkowski. Ian C. Riley.
Congratulations to the master degrees recipients from the School of Business and Economics. Please be seated. All right, all you eager young investors, now it's your turn. Bachelor degree recipients from the School of Business and Economics will now receive their diplomas. Will the school marshals please direct your graduates to come forward and receive their diplomas?
Lauren Sacomano.
Rodrigo Slan Zamore Ano.
Gianna Fugazzi.
Carissa Ann Sabuco.
Jenna Riggin.
Alexander James Powell.
Tyler Joseph Head.
Jeffrey Barclay.
Nicole Williamson.
Justin Everett.
Benjamin Ulysses Kimmelman.
Steve O'Dolson.
Jennifer Grant.
Andrew O'Connor.
Michael E. Farr.
Kyle Harvey.
Sophia DeFord.
Andrew Chase Lanier.
Teresa McKenney Olson.
Jason Duncan.
Stephen Biro.
Kenneth Haynes.
Kyle Schwab.
Mary Forrest.
Paige Smallhoover.
Eloisa Young.
Ellie Laird.
Louise Aguiar.
Brian Bell.
Richard Fonte.
Matt Mullen.
Cole Nguyen.
Elliot Sneen.
Zahi Imad Adgile.
Frank William Garcia Spandler.
Doug Behringer.
Kelly Marie Martin.
Alex Woodson.
Taylor Kristen Edmonds.
Adam Schneider.
Melissa Mullen.
Janelle Christine Thomas.
Tanner Bryant.
Kayla Angelina Smith.
Jared Dilster.
Melissa Dollar Bergesser.
Tony Kerr.
Matthew Melser.
Stephen Woolery.
Lou Kane Pritchett.
Joel Smith.
Michaela Kirkland.
Maria Gonzalez.
Rika Kang.
Caitlin Carter.
Kristen Kelly.
Alicia Ragushi.
Emily Ann Keating.
Emily Poisson.
Maria Carmen Mendez.
Ashley Melissa Hasley.
John Evan Disserafino.
Michelle Thomas.
Jessica Lynn Ryan.
Iris Sikai.
Jennifer Lynn Fleming.
Diamante Denny Rueda Ortiz.
Cynthia Ann Goldbeck.
Virginia Torres.
Christy Lauren Lee.
Chu Lo.
Vanessa Celeste Zamora.
Bao Nicole Tao.
Patricia Susan Gaia Himes.
Anthony Cummins.
Megan Devine.
Laura Ibarami.
Teal Johnson.
Daisy Ojeda.
Nick McInnes.
Kayla Tonzi.
Cheyenne Zerlang.
Stacy Barnes.
Kristalla Fifmiu,
Jessica Lima,
Christopher Miles Lovey,
Amanda Noel Bauman,
Casey Goebel,
Taylor Marie Kramer,
Ving Nguyen,
Maria Gonzalez,
Nathan Gordon,
Stephanie Okma,
Scott Lynch,
Alex Boyer,
Eliseo Acivas,
Amanda Costi,
Matthew Foreman,
Kristen Curry,
Natasha Baker,
Christina Lola Aromio,
Josie Inman,
Lindsay Ward,
Christopher Scheck,
Kelsey Shapiro,
Lee Laraber,
Courtney Groth,
Avelia Chavez,
Michelle Ann Marie Rutter,
Nancy Velasquez,
Krista Shea Stephen,
Jessica Enos,
David Lawrence Siebert,
Altier Zepeda,
Benjamin William Laidlaw,
Alfonso Reyes,
Sergeant Mac Madsen,
William Chai Wang Fung,
Kyle Lease,
Sheila Frazier,
Cooper Lee Bricks,
Yansen Wang,
Ellis Huber,
Lucy Lonza,
Blake Charles Rush,
Thomas Sean Burns,
Lucas Meisinger,
Stephen Ebersol,
Jamie Monsler,
Brian Butler,
Elisa Damiani,
William Clark,
KK Lippy,
T. Pereira,
Alexa Moore,
Alana Crittenden,
Alexander Thomas Sorcy,
Andrea Cohen,
Grant Pierce,
Zachary Cohen,
Timothy Cybro Hicks,
Paul Gio,
Brent Lemler, Colin Davis,
Alexander Charnovsky,
Ryan Mooney,
Jatinder Singh,
Ari Vasegi,
David Coombs,
Anthony Ciancholo,
Martin Lippman,
Briar Horn,
Pierre Bornelis,
Rebecca Prizer,
Christy Gentry,
Amber Janke,
Kayla Elizabeth Shapiro,
Alexandra Lamar Avanesian,
Leslie Witter,
Taylor Elena Morrissey,
Michaela Makatazi,
Caitlin Davis Hammond,
Jason Adavia,
Ari Fuller,
Cynthia Alfaro,
Kayla Michelle Williams,
Sonia Holtzman,
Brittany Louise Noel,
Andrew Curry,
Leah Michelle DeKalb,
Michaela Pickler,
Leanne Sproul,
Felicia Coweto,
Alyssa Ingram,
Brent Waters,
Jessica Blake Miller,
Alec Lewandowski,
Stephanie Bianchi,
Joey Kobalinski,
Ashley Kokesh,
Audra Roseanne Montenegro,
Brittany Price,
Olivia Caminiti,
Benjamin Knack Lehman,
Paul Anthony Stewart,
Emily Dorfman,
Olga Temnikov,
Ricardo Rivas Avalos,
Nicholas Thompson,
Elizabeth Dufresne,
Justin Odalio,
Thomas Del Signore,
Carissa Grayson,
Allison Claire Martinez,
Kirby Workman McKee,
Anne Marie Christine Kelly,
Samantha Lynn Spear,
Samantha Breon Yates,
Robert Henry Siverly,
Rebecca Ann Sullivan,
Matt Anderson,
Catherine Elizabeth O'Brien,
Jeremiah Auer,
Jillian Casey Rohde,
Michael Forte,
Angelina Garcia,
Timothy Allen Montoya,
Jordan Nicole Galante,
Brian Scruggs,
Jordan Marie Platisa,
Robert Randleman,
Jacqueline Marie Kimmel,
Stephen Pratt,
Christina Marie Donahoe Pena,
Claire Leaders,
Lauren Kristen Klein,
Rebecca Deerdekerf,
Lindsay Marie Powell,
Marissa Graffanti,
Chelsea Herbert,
Emily Chambers,
Allison Ruth Moody,
Laura Walton,
Audrey Sorensen,
Nicholas Alexander Graham,
Mike Davis,
Michelle Vogue,
Michael Roseland,
Danielle Marie Giurangioli,
Casey Wood.
Thanks, Rose.
Morgan Latham,
Matthew Mantovan,
Samuel Bernal,
Dan Silverstein,
Daniel Angelo,
Max Larkin,
Ethan Danger Whites,
Nicholas Minton,
Kyle Steinfeld,
Brooke McBride,
Antonio Mendoza,
Stephanie Hoffmar,
Leonardo Acosta,
Zachary Blackman,
Christian Salazar,
Kevin O'Rourke,
Carlos Flores,
Sean O'Rourke,
Heather Lynn Smith,
Alex Richmond,
Shannon Therese Holla,
David Massey,
Maxim Kalinechkin,
Kirk Laffins,
Thomas Kenny,
Ryan Smitchker,
Alexander Martin Jagiello,
Nick Lombardi,
Jack Helberg,
Taylor Jones,
Carrie Lynn Burke,
David Sherman,
Jesus Velasquez,
Brittany Gorup,
Andrew Kramer,
Tanya Sierra,
Darren Allen Nelson,
Lisa Seibert,
James Schnetzer,
Amanda Schwartz,
Nathan Lamar,
Erica Droher,
John Morley Rice IV,
Justin Maslana,
Jason Lauterbach,
Aaron Hamilton,
Martha Rico,
Ryan Jeffrey Hogue,
Nicole Mills,
Brian Oland,
Travis Fiore,
Elise Christine Morris,
Dan Peed,
Nolan Ryan LaBrue Sherry,
Brendan David Cook,
Francesco Sino,
Derek Steven Sinander,
Travis Ragona,
Joseph Robert Burritt,
Christian Aiello,
Lupe Kicking Woman,
Ian Nicholson,
Elizabeth Horan,
Gabrielle Freeman,
Perla Frias,
Jordan Keating,
Brad Campbell,
Amanda Wilkening,
James Bosser,
Brooke Ashley Polucci,
Megan Cockerill,
Danielle Chenier,
Anthony Bullock,
Jamie Lynn Getcho,
Elizabeth Shanae Grayson Slater,
Cassandra Bell,
Alexandra Dicker,
Ambrosia O'Brien,
Rachel Linda Cruz,
BJ Raymond Dodgy,
Kaylee Haberman,
Cassie Lloyd,
Leah Jean White,
Jennifer Dobrinsky,
Jennifer Kathleen Reardon Talon,
Alexandra Avil,
Natalie Catherine Hodge,
Victoria Ricosa,
Vishnu Sethu,
Jane Mangiante,
Austin Holly,
Eric Martin,
Ellis Bainham,
Ryan Dunn,
Sean Smitch Mitchell,
Erin Marie Ferracci,
Rocky Ono Trono,
Rossini Tadal,
Christian Volker, Sean Fleming, Samuel Rutka, Kyle Riego de Dios, Tyler Branning, Julia Machado, Joshua Martinez, Austin Vieira, Michael Geddes, Dustin Courtney, Fernando Castillo, John Lester Kropak, Kevin Patrick Berry, Tabitha Renee Waldeschmidt, Brian Walk Marblestone, Daniel Dykeman, Andy Shepard, Patricia Reuter, Alan Huang, Kyung Rul Seo, Madan Maharjan, Deanna Watney, Kara McComb, Lauren Ockrak,
He got cool.
He got cool. I thought he was going to be hot.
It was very hot. Right. And the cool breeze came out. Is that happening?
Congratulations to all of the graduates. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to introduce Rachel Dethridge, who will lead us as we sing the Sonoma State Hymn. You'll find words to the hymn on the last page of your program.
Sandy Wiley.
different girl. You'll be getting Love to
Thank you, Rachel, for that wonderful performance. I want to remind you that the Schools of Arts and Humanities, Business and Economics, and Education are hosting receptions for their graduates and their families immediately following this ceremony. Locations of the receptions are listed on the map in your program, and we hope you'll join us at the receptions on this very special day as we salute our graduates and celebrate their accomplishments. We've now come to that part of the ceremony called the recessional. This tradition provides us, the faculty, with an opportunity to formally greet and congratulate the graduating students. Therefore, we request that the audience please remain seated until all graduates have left the commencement area. And the recessional will end in the Central Campus Quad. We appreciate your patience and your cooperation during the recessional. Will the banner carriers please take up their banners? Will the platform party, the faculty, and the graduates please stand?